Is my lighting harsh or is it just
No. You're good. I know. As soon as someone comments on it, then you notice everything.
I know. I think it is a little harsh. Shoot. I gotta adjust this dumb thing every single freaking time.
I started recording, by the way.
You know what? Let them listen. Okay. Let them hear the things that we have to deal with every single streaming day.
Welcome, everyone, to the RoleCall Aftershow. Time to go to the Aftershow. If you're new here, hi, we're the RoleCall Twitch channel. We stream over on Twitch, and this is an Aftershow discussing and breaking down and other things of our Curse of Strahd campaign. Other things for our Curse of Strahd campaign over on Twitch channel, which is a module based in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition.
And if you want to check us out at twitch.tv/RoleCallrp, we stream Curse of Strahd every other Saturday at 6 p.m. PST.
Hell yeah. Quite a session that we had. And as we ended, you clearly stated that you had some thoughts. So,
I have opinions.
Which aren't allowed here, so you need to keep those to yourself and express the other things that you're thinking that aren't opinions.
Okay.
Facts.
Great. Okay.
So what are some facts?
Ismarks Father showed up. He was in the episode.
Truth. Fact. All right. And your opinion of that?
A loud guy? I'm scared.
I'll allow it.
Okay, great. He got brought back to life, which was cool. It was very interesting.
It was a moment that had been kind of prod and poked at for a little bit by Rahadin in the meeting before. Oh. And Izmark, your father bids you come home.
What?
But it was kind of... I mean, in terms of Izmark and where he stands in the family unit, he is a noble, and he, of course, as such, has been taught that family is important and that lineage is important. So much so that in the very beginning of the campaign, he almost completely just ignored Irina because he found out that they weren't related by blood. Fine. What then? Lock me out of the house? Forget about everything that's happened? Forget that father died because he was defending me? Forget everything that had happened to us. Izmark, for the love of the Morning Lord, you're not that idiotic.
I don't think Ismark's father actually found out that Izmark was gone from the town the entire time. He may have learned it from the people, but he didn't learn it from Izmark.
Yeah, they didn't really, they did get a chance to talk. But that was in private, and you don't know what they talked about because
I don't know.
Because Strahd whisked you away, and after Rahadin gave Izmark the clean shave, and he's like, "Hey, say hello to Strahd and Izmark, and to Strahd and yes, Izmark, say hello to yourself." Pardon me.
Hello, Izmark.
Hello, Izmark. Who is this man?
Who is this? Okay, first we need to talk about... basically, there are two main events that happened in the gardens. The first is the proposal, which, actually, looking back at the VODs, Strahd didn't actually ask Serena to marry him. He asked her to join him. It's a little vague, and according to the situation, I was pretty sure he was implying marriage. But I'm also sort of thinking, did I just screw myself over? I mean, what if he was just talking about having a business relationship? What if he was just saying, "Hey, Serena, how about you help me terrorize Barovia as business partners, okay?" And then she would have just been like, "Yes, sir." And then we just shake hands. But then I don't know. According to the context of the situation, we were talking about Strahd's wife that Serena killed, and we were talking about Irina. And from the situation, I picked up that he was probably talking about marriage. Did I read it wrong? Was I right?
You absolutely read the situation correct. And
okay.
the conversation flowed naturally from there because, yeah, he was talking about Irina in a weird backward way, about Tatiana and her relation with Irina, which Serena doesn't really know too much about, but Nova, the player, knows a ton about.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Tatiana, to Castle Ravenloft. So this is like, I can't remember. Maybe Strahd had brought up Tatiana's name in the past. I can't quite remember. But the connection to Irina and Tatiana sure as heck hasn't been made yet as far as Serena's concerned.
No, Serena hasn't 100% made the connection yet. The only other time that Serena has heard Strahd mention Tatiana was literally episode 1. He mentioned the name Tatiana instead of Irina, and Serena was like, who?
When I finally take her for my own. My beautiful Tatiana.
That was the only other time that he ever talked about Tatiana. So in Serena's mind, she hasn't made the connection that Tatiana was Sergei's bride. The one that, because the Sun Sword told Serena through emotional stuff.
It was
the sword.
It was a night of intense discussion of her trying to interpret emotions by messages.
Trying to translate through emotions. Okay. She found out that Strahd had killed his brother and his bride, but Serena hasn't made the connection that Tatiana is that bride. As far as Serena's concerned, she thinks that Tatiana is just another woman that Strahd likes with his 50 billion wives. Like, she hasn't made the connection that I'm like, oh, she's that woman, or she's special in particular.
Yeah, I was like, the way you said that woman makes you say like with such scorn and disgust. I was like, oh, she's that one. Yeah, Serena is getting. The breadcrumbs are being dropped in front of her.
Right. I kind of wish that I was a little bit more assertive in asking more about Tatiana at that moment, because watching the VODs back, I recognize specifically 2 situations where I could have jumped in and been like, who is this lady? There was one situation where Kai could have jumped in and brought that information. I think there was just a disconnect during the RP moment where we just didn't make that connection.
Things are always moving.
Things are just moving. Yeah. I know. Rip my life. But yeah, so now Serena has to deal with this vampire lord that is interested in marrying her. Obviously, she's not the priority. Mm-hmm. Irina's ultimately the priority, but as a backup prize, as like a consolation prize. Mm-hmm. Serena's a catch.
Serena is a catch. Yeah, I mean, in terms of not being apologetic, Serena just flat turned him down like so fast. Like she was being pretty timid up until that point, like trying to be respectful and like also like being cautious.
Right.
But in that moment, she was like, no! Hell no. Would you not join me?
I didn't come here to replace your wife. I mean, thinking back, I think I could have. I mean, ultimately, even if I were to redo that situation again, I still would have straight up said no. Mm-hmm. But I think what I could have done is also ask why. Mm-hmm. But he'll probably give some answer of like, well, 1, you owe me. 2, you're pretty. You have a charisma of 18, and I mean, that's not bad. And then you're also pretty talented. Okay, like your magic, it's not as good as mine. Okay, your magic will never be as good as mine, but like it's not bad. Okay, mm-hmm. And then you also play like music. Okay, I mean, I don't have a court musician. Okay, and I'm a king, mm-hmm. So like I need one. And you fit the bill. So honestly, that's probably how that conversation would have went.
That is an interesting theory. Let's go into theory craft mode for a little bit. So
I love theory craft mode.
Yeah. So what is Serena thinking right now? So she's heard Tatiana's name a couple times. She has seen, I want to say, glimpses of Strahd's more, I guess I'll call it an echo of his humanity. Like, just like, it's clearly not there, but you can clearly see that there was
remnants of what his humanity used to be.
Yeah, there was something there once that is long since gone. And I'm really curious. What is this is like your first like formal event where he is totally in his element, where you just got to chill and have a dinner with the guys. So what is Serena's?
Actually,
yeah,
Serena never actually got to have dinner. That was a little nitpick. I was gonna note. Everything happened so quickly. Serena didn't actually get to sit down and have food. Girl didn't even get to eat. Didn't even get to eat. I guess she'll just starve.
I'm sorry. That was rude of me as the DM to not give you Serena a chance to eat.
And some people in the chat were complaining. Girl didn't even get to eat. We hyped this dinner.
Yeah.
Hyped the dinner, and we don't even get to eat food. Wow.
Well, not getting
disappointed.
Disappointed. But disappointed not being able to eat food aside. What's Strahd think? What's Strahd? Serena Strahd. That's what the ship is called.
That's the ship name.
Strahd.
Oh my gosh.
What does Serena think of Strahd? And is Tatiana still just going completely over her head, or has it gotten in her mind like, okay, this is actually someone worthy of note if he seems actually sad or at least angry about this thing?
I think Serena right now has gotten the message that Tatiana is important. I don't think she's made the connection that Tatiana was Sergei's bride and was one of the main reasons that Strahd just decided to become a vampire in the first place. Like, she obviously hasn't made that connection, but she definitely has heard her name enough times to know she's definitely important to Strahd, at least.
Does Serena think that Strahd can be saved?
She doesn't know, but she's leaning towards no now, Earlier, she might have thought, well, maybe there's a chance. But like, the longer the campaign goes and the more that she sees, the more she's leaning towards no. And at the same time, I will say, and I don't know if the players have picked up on this, Serena has started to become less optimistic and less trusting and less happy. She's just slowly started to become quieter and started to become more depressed and sad and stuff like that. And the world of Barovia is starting to get to her, and it hasn't completely broken her down yet, but like, it's definitely affecting her.
Yeah, I have definitely picked up on that. And I think that because coming from where she came from with episode 1, with the interaction of the Vistani that gave her a ride into town, and who she was then.
Oh yeah, she's completely different now.
Who she is now. I think she has adapted to her environment like all sane people do.
Right. Well, she's had to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'd either be dead or be massively depressed.
Yeah, which really gives you a perspective on the locals here. And this is my theory on Serena. Feel free to neither confirm nor deny, or confirm or deny, is that I am thinking, especially going a little further ahead with when Izmark got charmed and the father stated flat out like what he did for his family. She didn't have a intense reaction to that.
Reaction.
Like the old her absolutely would have.
Her old self would have been like she would have been so taken aback, but and that is something that I actually did consciously do on purpose, because it doesn't phase her as much anymore. She's not surprised anymore, and her priorities are like, I just want to save Irina, like, and Ismark and my friends, and that's it. The amount of evil has definitely desensitized her to other shocking, horrible events. So when Ismarks Father mentioned that he was basically sacrificing people to Strahd, it is just like...
My theory is that Serena is actually slightly... Maybe she didn't even realize this, but this is just a thought. Like, psychologically, my theory was that Serena was actually more okay with what Ismark's father did. Colion is his name, by the way, if anyone cares.
Yeah.
With what he did.
Ismark's father is his name as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Because his immediate goals were aligning with hers at the time. So it was one of those things where, yeah, people are dying, but I don't know these people, and I do know Izmark and Irina, and what he is doing is to protect them, so he's still fine in my book. Which is still really dark for Serena.
It's really dark. I will say that's not 100% correct. See, the thing is, they were in a rushed situation. They were in literally like a time situation of like, we need to go rescue Irina now. If there was time to actually talk about it, she would still have an opinion of like, I understand what you're doing, but I don't like it. Mm-hmm. You know, she doesn't like it, but she more gave it a pass. Like, it wasn't something so shocking that it would stop her from like her priority of saving Irina, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas the Serena from the beginning might have been like, ooh, we need to talk about this later.
Yeah, and
you know,
I mean, it's still a pretty selfish thing because like it's one of those things where a lot of people are probably dying. And she cares more, and in that moment, that was her declaring that she cared more about her friends than the innocent bystanders, which is a choice that she made.
Because of the nature of the situation and the amount of like how desensitized she's become to like all these horrible events, I guess in her mind it's just she doesn't have a strong opinion because she doesn't have time to think of one right now.
That's true, but she does have a strong opinion on Izmark, and she and you both did not realize that Izmark had got charmed, and then he just blurted out Irina's location. And where is your sister?
Izmark.
Come on, boy, speak up.
Izmark, look at me. Don't.
And Strahd looks directly at him. And Izmark's eyes begin to glaze over.
Izmark?
What was going through her mind at that point? Because at that point, if you didn't know that she was charmed, was she just thinking like, oh, Izmark just screwed us all, or he's a traitor, or oh my, like what was
wait. So at that point, she knew he was charmed.
Yeah.
When he blurted out that, you know, he was at the Abbey, and that's why she told him to stop. So at that point, she did know he was charmed. What she didn't know was that once Strahd left, he was still charmed afterwards. She thought that once Strahd left, he was, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
No, it stays.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't know that the charm actually stayed after Strahd had already left. And I think that also contributed a bit to me and Serena not really talking all that much, because these two were having their fight, and it's just like, I don't know, I felt a little steamrolled. It's just like, what do I do? Because Serena did say, can we talk about this later? We have to go. And then essentially they didn't go. The entire session was a little on the shorter side. And I feel like there were a lot of missed opportunities personally. Like talking about Tatiana, and not having dinner. Okay. Literally, Serena walked in, sat down, immediately got back up because Strahd took her away so that the two burgomasters can talk. They had their little short conversation in the garden. She came back, sat down. Izmark told Strahd the information, And then they had their argument. They got back up and they left. Like,
bam, 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 bam.
It was just like bam, bam.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, just like get everything done. And didn't even get the chance to like just sit down and experience the situation. Yeah.
And we did it end early too. So it's
right,
not, it's
and
not
we
like,
ended early.
Yeah, it's not like
which I thought these would be one of the sessions it would run long, but no. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's sketchy when you're dealing with a social encounter where there's so many powerful people, and they're surrounding, and it's basically a diplomatic mission of like kings and the villain of the entire campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I was fully prepared for Serena to pull a Hail Mary and just try to kill him then and there. Like there was many different ways that this could have gone. And one of the things when you start planning, if this happens, X will happen. If this happens, X will happen, is that the longer things go, the amount of work the amount of prep that's needed to account for these things increases exponentially.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why it was so short was because it was dense, and it, all of the things that you did really matter, and it was every little thing. And as soon as all those things were really achieved, it was like, okay, that's where most of the work went in, that's where most of the prep went in, and then thus the session fell really short just because it's one of those things where you make a left turn, you end up on a completely different road than this turn, and that's part of game design in a nutshell. And,
I don't know, like for me in particular, like again watching it back, there were times where I could have been more assertive, and then there are other times where I felt a little steamrolled, and then there were moments where I just like. There were just opportunities missed on both of our parts, and I personally hyped this session up a lot. Like I had really high hopes for this session, and I thought it would end up being like this really dramatic session. It didn't quite reach that level that I was hoping for, and that's just how I feel.
Yeah, fair.
Just dramatic sigh.
Yeah, no, fair.
Yeah.
I mean, also, things didn't exactly go your way.
Oh no, there was so many L's.
Yeah.
So many L's this session.
Yeah, and that definitely probably contributed to some of that. And the cherry on top of the entire thing was Beatrice waiting for you at the bottom and slaughtering Colleon
Ismarks
again.
Father, after we just got him back.
Mm-hmm. Take care of my son, would you? And his eyes open one last time. Until Irina, to stay safe. As his neck is completely cracked in this creature's jaws. And a geyser of blood shoots out from his neck.
Now how am I going to explain that to Irina?
Or Izmark.
How am I going to explain?
Izmark doesn't know.
Yeah, and how am I going to explain that to Izmark? That I accidentally got his dad killed.
Yep. How is he going to take it? Like,
I can't. It's just like there's so many L's. And the thing is, that's something that didn't need to happen. I think that's the worst part. Because I know that that's just going to make Serena more depressed.
Yeah, Izmark is going to need, Serena's going to need to have that conversation. How does she think that Izmark is going to take it? Like, I don't even think she's thought that far ahead. As of now, she's just
she's just still reeling. Yeah. She knows that she's going to have that conversation before they meet Irina.
I have a couple theories on how Izmark is going to take it. And it's really all dependent on what Serena does and how Serena says it, or if Serena says anything. Serena could lie. I don't know.
I don't think that's a good idea for her to do that. No, she's not going to lie.
She definitely could get away with it with that charisma.
Oh, well, I mean, with her plus 12 persuasion, I mean, she could just lie. But then, well, he'll find out eventually.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be a whole lie reveal type thing.
Yeah.
And I hate those in movies.
Yeah. It's like, you lied to me?
Yeah.
You hate it as in you cringe, or you hate it as in like dramatic moment? kind of a thing.
No, I cringed. It just makes me feel. It just gives me a sour feeling in my stomach. You know,
like this all could have been avoided if you just not lied.
Just like this was unnecessary. Liar reveals, I just hate them.
All right. You heard it here. You heard it here, folks. Any campaign that we play in D&D, Nola will have no part in liar reveals.
I'll have a part, but like if you do it, I'm gonna hate you.
So if Serena lied and then I do a liar's reveal, you're gonna hate me for that? I don't think that's fair.
I mean, what were we talking about?
We were talking.
Oh yeah, Ismarks' dad dying.
Yeah, Ismarks' dad bit the dust. Now she's got to break the news to Izmark after things were going so well with her and him.
Well, yeah, I think there's an elephant in the room between them.
Yes.
There's a giant elephant.
Some might call it a will they, won't they?
Yeah.
I don't know who.
It's just like,
yeah.
Of course, Serena already gave her reason for being hesitant because she hopes to go home one day. And if she falls in love with Izmark, well, that's going to make things really difficult. Because then she'll have to decide whether she goes home or stays in Barovia, which she doesn't really want to stay in Barovia.
Eyes on the prize.
Yeah. She's trying to keep focus, okay? She's not going to let some boy distract her. Rough life. We'll just have to see how it happens. I do have some theories of like what could possibly happen if she ends up not dying by the end of the campaign. Because obviously if she dies, well, I guess all of her dreams are being crushed. But like if she survives to the end of the campaign, defeats Strahd, what the heck is we going to do with Izmark? There's one of several things that could happen, according to what I know. Like either one, she could somehow try to convince Izmark to return to Ramel with her, which, well, I don't know if that's going to work because he's the burgomaster of the village. And with his father coming back, well, that would have solved the problem. But unfortunately, his father re-died, so now Izmark's back to being in charge. And now that's not really an option unless he wants to abandon his people again. And I don't think he would do that. 2, she could stay in Barovia, but like she's already so traumatized by this place that I don't know how she would. She really doesn't want to stay. I had a third option, but I can't remember.
I was gonna say 3.
Oh yeah, the third option was, stay in Barovia, but then Izmark would have to become like a vampire, and then she becomes like a vampire queen, and then, and then she just rules over Barovia with an iron fist.
And now you're in a mysterious abbey.
Yeah, and she will have to deal with Strahd because he's probably there.
Yep.
And she has to get to Irina before he does, and then they'll have to have their own little monologue together. So. And also Izmark's dying, yeah.
Yeah. Let's not forget about that.
I'm kind of, obviously Strahd and her are like enemies now, but like, I hope they can still have talks. They don't have to be friends, but I just see, the thing is, I really enjoy RPing with 3 characters in particular: Strahd, Izmark, Irina. Those are the 3 people that I enjoy RPing with the most. And Strahd pretty much is being eliminated. Irina, we haven't seen in literally months, both in-game and out of game. And obviously Izmark, well, I mean, she talks to him too much now, and now they're like falling in love or whatever. So, and then poor Casimir got left in the Amber Temple. We'll have to deal with that somehow.
And that's the cherry on top, is that Casimir was left at the Amber Temple.
She's gonna have to find someone to either use magic to send a message, or find a falcon or something that'll fly to the top of the Amber Temple or whatever,
or a
raven. See if one of her raven buddies will be like, hey, can you tell Casimir that he can come down the mountain because we're not going back? That's also a question of like, what inventory does Serena actually have on her? Because
she has everything. I said that, when you went back to the cart, you took your things and you went there.
Oh, because specifically, I thought it was just her dress and her makeup and like her. I mean, just generally her weapons. But
I assume you don't have multiple bags for things, so I assume you just grabbed your pack and went.
Yeah, okay.
That's
I'll
how
just
I interpreted
yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes, Kai. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're fine.
I definitely. I'm not worried about my my mysterious tome that I picked up in the Amber Temple, or my hundreds and hundreds of coins in its own little chest, or my like blanket and my entire entertainer's pack, and all everything that I have.
Well, you have all those things, so you don't need to worry.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and
except her dress, except her armor.
It's true.
She specifically does not have her armor anymore because she's wearing a ball gown.
Yes.
So she's gonna have to find a new one, a new potato sack to wear.
Mm-hmm. And that's basically it. Now Serena's in an unknown place.
Yeah.
And she's got some shit to figure out.
She has so much to figure out when next session. Man, poor Serena. Like she's going through like she needs to vacation. She needs a vacation.
Have a spa day.
She needs to have a me day. Okay. Like her sunshine is dimming. Okay. You know, she's no longer the little ball of sunshine she used to be. Okay. She's just like a little tiny twinkle now. And like it's really bad for her emotional health.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The whole land is really bad for her emotional and mental well-being.
Mm-hmm. Naturally. I wonder why. It's a mystery.
I wonder why.
Yeah, we'll continue that off in 2 weeks when we see where that whole thing will go.
Yeah.
So, thank you everyone so much for tuning in until the very end. And yeah, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, like, all of the things. Twice. If you have 2 accounts, do it twice.
Twice, yeah.
We need it. Because algorithm. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.